Hello, it's Jimmy here at O'Reilly's. Got a little bit of wind noise, so sorry if it's on the video. Got here a Land Rover Discovery 5. Now there's not a lot of cars that I can diagnose over the phone, but this one I could. So sorry about the wind noise out there if you could hear that on the phone. So this customer called me and said he's had this at a garage and there's a problem with it, and they tried to reset the codes for the DPF but they wouldn't reset, and they didn't know how to resolve the problem basically. So I said, well, he's coming from Yorkshire area, so I said, you know, if you could get me the codes before you come all the way down, it'd be handy. And he got me the codes, which was a overboost code P0299 I think, turbo overboost and a DPF soot accumulation. So I said, okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure what we're going to need, and I've asked the customer to bring for me a throttle body from Land Rover because it's very difficult to get hold of them off the shelf. So he's bringing that with me, and I'm pretty sure I know what's wrong with it before I even have to look at it, but we're going to get the diagnostic on here and I'll show you what's going on. Now most of my viewers are going to probably already seen this video, so you probably even know what I'm looking at. We've got a DPF full, and why is the DPF full? It's because there's a P0299 turbo overboost. Okay, I've got King Bolin K10 diagnostic scan tool here. I'll put the link for this tool in my description where I've got an affiliate code where you can buy it from. And we're going to do a scan on the engine here, which is, let's just do full scan. ECM, there it is. P2463, and sorry, I said a P0299, which is an underboost code. P023477 turbo overboost. That is the fault code. The reason that's not reachable is because there's a flap in the throttle body that gets stuck. Yeah, same story over and over. I've done this video before, so we're gonna get to the root of the problem and fix it. Okay, so we come in, we open the bonnet here, we take off the plastic engine cover. Pretty simple here to pull off this clip. Just get your fingers underneath, slip it off, put it to the side. Yep, we've got a sticking flap. Sticky flaps, not what you want in this situation. Now I'll give you a little tip here how you can sometimes temporarily fix these. Is if you get a trim tool like this, which spreads out the force a little bit, get it directly over the middle there where the rod sits, because what happens is this shifts to one side. If you look closely, you'll see that there's a gap on the right side, but there's not on this side. You see the gap on the right hand side, so it's shifted slightly to the left. Now we need to knock it back into place, so let's give that a try. And that's worked. But in this case, because the customer doesn't want to risk it coming back when he goes all the way back to Yorkshire, we're going to just replace the part. So again, we'll use our trim tool, we'll lift the wire in here off of here, we'll get behind here, release the plug like that, and the same with this plug over here. We'll press that and take it out. This is for the boost sensor right here, so you can see the boost sensor is part of this. So once this doesn't go where it wants to go, it affects the pressure within here, and that's what causes your turbo overboost code. Now we have a 10mm here, we're going to get this open. Okay, we're going to come on here, 10mm, get that open, take that big long bolt out, make sure that you put this over here somewhere safe. You don't want your long bolt getting stuck in the sticky shaft. So now we're going to need a pair of these pliers. These are specific pliers that you need to release these little clips here, just like that. Oh yeah, so we've only got one on this. Some models, Jaguars, have got a second one of these pipes coming in this side and runs down there. So this particular model here has only got one. So we'll open that off and just tuck it to the side like that. So now that is released, we're going to try and shift it to the right if we can. If not, we've got another little bolt here to pull this pipe away from here. So that's it, I've managed to push it to the right hand side. So when you push it to the right, it'll slide in to this manifold on this side. Then you can twist it upwards and pull it out. And this is what you get here inside a diesel engine. Black carbon that messes everything up. So this part here with a surcharge has come in at £530, but you will get £70 back once you bring the old part back. So that's it, we just clean up the area, fit the new part exactly how the old one came out, and get these little plugs, stick them back in where they came from. Make sure you hear a click as you put them in. Push that back on there, attach your pipe back to the flap, get your clip now, get your ring, lock it in place, and then push it all the way in. Make sure the ring is all the way around clipped in, and once you got your ring on there, stops anything getting into your flap. So now you've put your ring on your new flaps, you're gonna go into special functions here. This is using a King Bowlen or a launch software tool. You're gonna go to common special functions, and then once, like I said, once you put the ring on it, you need to marry your throttle body there to the vehicle. So program it in. This will do the adaptions on the new throttle body. Turn your ignition off and back on and press OK. Now switch it back off. Job done. So DPF pressure there, we've got 4, which on these means you have 40 millibars of pressure, because it doesn't read anything other than that. It just reads 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 basically, which is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 millibars basically. Okay, for that I'm going to use this kit from Launch UK, which is a gun here that you put the fluid in, which is also from Launch UK, and that connects up to my compressor at 130 psi. And what we need to do is just get this attached somewhere into the DPF by either removing a sensor or the pressure sensor hose or a temperature sensor, anything like that. So here is the DPF system on this, and just over here we have, up there somewhere, we have a DPF pressure sensor, those 2 hoses. We're going to remove that and get the nozzle attached in there. Just over there you have the AdBlue injector as well. DPF is up the front there. So once that's connected to the car there, we squeeze the trigger and get it in. You'll hear the compressor come on. Okay, so now that's all done, and we've got the old part here in the box. That is the Land Rover part number there for it. Okay, so we got this back started now. We're going to rev the vehicle up to 3000 RPM, which is at 160 millibars there now, 130. So 13 is 12 is 120 millibars. We want to see that come down to sort of 4 or 5 millibars. 4 or 5 on here, which is 40 to 50 millibars. We'll hold that rev there for a couple of minutes, and we should see that pressure dropping. Doesn't seem to be moving so far, but hopefully it's going to drop. Give it a few accelerations up and down to get it to clear. Now you'll get a bit of vapour there coming from the exhaust, looks something like that. Now, like I said, we have 40 to 50 millibars there at revs, and anything below 10 millibars we will get a 0 reading. So that's a good result, all perfect. Now all that's left to do is come in, clear the fault codes that we had, and then we're going to start the vehicle up, let it idle for a second, and we can just go back out just to confirm, go back in, read the code again, make sure that the fault codes have cleared, Now what I'm going to do, just to make sure, it may not need it, but we're going to turn the engine off, turn the ignition on, and we're going to go to common special functions on this tool, go to exhaust emissions. Now just to reset all of the calculations, because of this fault all of the calculations of the DPF are going to be completely messed up. So what we need to do is tell it it's had a new DPF now that the pressure is the same as a new DPF would be. So we're going to do that, turn the ignition off, turn the ignition on, and then to finish off we turn the ignition off, and that's successful. Start it up and let it do its cycle there. Just confirm that all of the engine lights are off, and we have full power back. We've just taken it on a little bit of a test drive up and down the road here. Full power, everything's back as it should be, so it's all good to go. So like I said, this kit comes from Launch UK. I'll put the link in the video description for that, and this tool is from King Bolin. It's the K10 model. I'll put the link for that in there as well. I've got an affiliate code for these, put that in there. The Milwaukee compressor, I've got it from Screwfix. That's another Land Rover Discovery ready to hit the road. See you on the next video.